so my brain hasn't woken up.
Okay, well, welcome everybody to our weekly class. We're trying to do some introductory classes as well as some other unique topics. And today we're going to talk about cooking with oils. I've cooked some with oils, and in fact, just yesterday, literally, I made a big pot of soup and used basil in it. But I hope you'll be able to learn a few things. We always want to start these classes with a little bit of an introduction for people who are new or who are just getting started and maybe need a review about what essential oils are and how they work. So let's go to the next slide. This is what we're going to talk about today. I don't know why we can't see the top number one part of that. I don't know. But anyway, today we're going to talk about using essential oils for cooking and the benefits of essential oils, how to use them in baking. We've got a lot of incredible recipes on here that Becky actually put this slideshow together, and some tips and tricks, things, because you can kind of ruin your food if you don't know how to do things right. Okay, so we'll just talk about a few ideas to help you with cooking. And, you can go to the next slide, but I think one of the biggest things is to just dive in and start using the essential oils, but we'll get to that a little bit later. So let's first just talk about what is an essential oil. For those of you who have been in this for a while, you know that the essential oils all come from plants. They're natural aromatic compounds, and they come from all different parts of the plant. It could be all the way from the root, all the way clear up to the stem, the petals, the flowers, the seeds, the bark. We have a lot of grounding oils that come from trees, and they're just citrus oils are cold pressed from the rind. So they come from all different parts of the plant. And again, they're steam distilled, or they can be cold pressed extraction, particularly on the citrus oils. The cool thing about essential oils is they're very powerful and potent and strong, but they're safe for our bodies because they're 100% natural, and they don't have side effects that we get from a lot of synthetic products, right? So let's go to the next slide. So we just briefly want to talk about the modern approach versus the natural approach. And I just want to make it clear that we're not against the modern approach or using doctors or, medical science when we need it. Just that for the large majority of the issues that we face on a regular daily basis, we can just use essential oils, and we can save so much money from going to the doctor, from the prescription drugs, if we'll just learn how to treat our bodies in a natural way. So when we talk about the modern approaches, we're talking about synthetically produced products, okay? And they often come from plants, and they start with plants, but then man synthetically reproduces them. And so they can address the symptoms, and sometimes we need those medications. Sometimes we might have a really chronic infection or something, and we can use a synthetic drug that will help that clear up. But a lot of times people take medications ongoing, on and on and on and on for years and years and years. And the needs remain. It takes care of the symptoms and can help our bodies adjust, but the needs remain. So with the natural approach, because it comes from nature, it can go right to the cellular level, right to the root cause in our body, and it can actually help the body heal itself and meet our body's needs. A great example of this was when I had really chronic allergies, and I was on 3 medications, and every day I had to take those, and it did exactly what it says here on the modern approach. It addressed the symptoms, but every day the needs remained, and I had to keep taking those. By using the essential oils for over a year, actually it took me about 9 months, little by little it went to the cellular level, and I was able to eradicate those allergies from my body. And I don't even need those oils anymore for allergies, because it was able to go to the root cause and meet my body's needs. So that's kind of the difference. Let's go to the next slide. So the essential oils are very natural, effective, and safe. As we mentioned, all of our cells in our body have what's called a cell membrane. it's a protection for our body. It doesn't allow anything synthetic or too harmful to pass through the cell wall. So really harmful chronic bacterial infections and things, they can't get into our cells, and that they reside on the outside, and that's why we can handle them with a synthetic product. But anything that resides in the cells, synthetic products will not pass through the cell wall. So viruses and things like that reside inside our cells and that flare up. You know, some of us have those things. Somebody might have a herpes virus inside the cell, or fibromyalgia, or Epstein-Barr, some of those things that flare up from different times. We can use the essential oils because they'll pass through that cell wall to really give support to our body in eradicating some of these things. So that's the most important thing, is that the oils go through to the cellular level because they can pass through that cell wall. They're supercharged, really potent, as I mentioned, 50 to 70 times more powerful than herbs. And herbs can be really, really healthy and good for our body. We drink herbal teas. We put herbs in our cooking as well. But if you just use these, they save so much money, because you only need 1 drop would be the equivalent of what you would use for 28 cups of peppermint tea. It's that strong. And so, you know, when I put a drop of peppermint oil in my peppermint tea, whoa, it's really, really potent. 1 drop of peppermint oil is only like 8 cents. Now, if you convert that to rupees, it's really cheap. And so when we learn how to use these correctly, it can really save us a lot of money. People think they're expensive, but we're going to talk to you about how you can get them for a less expensive way, but also, you know, they last a long time. A 15 milliliter bottle of oil has 250 drops. So they're very inexpensive overall. Some really important things to understand about doTERRA's superior quality of essential oils. There are a couple hundred essential oil companies throughout the world, many in India. You've had Ayurvedic medicines for centuries. But the difference between these oils and those essential oils is that they are very, very pure. They're 100% pure enough even that you can take them internally, pure enough that doctors and hospitals will use them in their practices. So the purity level is much different, which means they can be much more effective for your body. So they're very potent. They're grown and harvested in an ideal region without any chemicals or pesticides. We have extensive third-party testing with dozens and dozens and dozens of tests that ensure the purity. And in fact, you can check the purity on the bottom of your bottle is a little number, and you can check the purity of every single bottle of oil. So the other thing is our oils are certified pure, tested grade, and they don't have any fillers, foreign contaminants, any synthetic products or anything in. They're not adulterated in any way like so many other essential oils are. So they're very, very safe to use. 3 ways that's important to use the oils is aromatically, topically, and internally. We want to use an oil aromatically if we're going to we want to open our airways. Maybe we're congested or we're just stuffed up either in our chest or in our head. At night, it's great to use oils aromatically because it keeps airways open so you can breathe better, which means you'll sleep deeper. Another reason you would want to use the oils aromatically is to address emotions, any kind of emotional health, you know, depression, anxiety, grief, anger, sadness, any of those kinds of things are best used by aromatic use of the oils. You can use a diffuser like you see in this picture right here, where you put water in and then a few drops of oil. But another great way is just to put a couple drops on the palms of your hands and to inhale, take deep breaths and inhale several times. And, you know, then the essential oil literally goes up to the emotional center in your brain and helps to balance your emotions. So really great. Another thing, many of us, sometimes we live in cities that have a lot of contamination, pollution, and we can purify the air in our own homes with the essential oils so that we're breathing pure air. So using the oils topically, you can address any specific area of the body. You can apply them to the bottoms of the feet. You can put them on the back of the neck, on your chest, on your temples, on your wrists, or wherever you might be uncomfortable. If you have an upset stomach, you can put them right on your stomach, on your abdomen. If you have some head tension, you can put them right on your forehead, wherever you're hurting, a cut or a scrape, you can put them on. So that's where you use the oils topically, and it's just really to penetrate through the skin, and it's fantastic. The third way would be to use the oils internally, and we only use certified pure tested grade oils internally. If you go out and you just buy them in the shop or in the airport or somewhere there, you cannot take those oils internally. In fact, they can actually be harmful to the body. So a few ways to use the oils internally. You can put them in water, which I do every single day. You're going to always want to use them in glass or stainless steel water bottles. Another thing, you can put them directly under the tongue unless they're very hot. And then another thing you can do is put them in a gel capsule, and especially oils that are hot, or maybe you don't like the taste of them, you can put them in a gel capsule and swallow them down. I did want to say one more thing about topical use. There are times when we want to dilute the oils with a carrier oil, such as our fractionated coconut oil. We're going to do that if we use the oils on children, if we want to spread them over a large area, or on anybody who has very sensitive skin. Or sometimes we just want to dilute the oil anyway if it's hot. And it actually can help the oil penetrate deeper into the tissue. So also really great to be aware of times when we might need to use the oils diluted. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. So there are a lot of ways that you can incorporate the oils into just your regular lifestyle. They give so many health benefits. With every kind of health issue, there's ways that essential oils can support that health issue. It doesn't mean that a chronic disease is going to be cured. We never say that, but it will give support to the body. It can give relief to discomfort, to pain, to all kinds of health issues that we have. We can also use the essential oils for cleaning our homes. Most of you, if you went and looked under your kitchen sink or in your bathroom, you probably have a lot of toxic chemicals. And when you use those on the surfaces of your home, you're breathing in those toxins, and it can also be damaging to our health. There are so many recipes and ways that you can make cleaning products with On Guard and with different essential oils that we can talk about. But many, many benefits to using the oils just for cleaning. And then we're going to talk about using them for cooking as well. You can put them right into your food. Again, you're only going to want to use those with certified pure tested grade essential oils, never just whatever you go out and buy in the store. Those are not safe to be taken internally. So we always want to talk about this wellness lifestyle, because you can use the essential oils all you want, but if you're not taking care of your body and living a healthy lifestyle, then the essential oils are not going to be nearly as effective as they could be. So the bottom foundational rung on this pyramid that you can see is nutrition and digestion. And that's what we're going to talk about today a little bit, is how to even use the essential oils for even greater nutrition and digestion. But really in your own life, to eat healthy foods, to eat foods that are healthy for the gut. It doesn't mean that you can't ever have a treat or a sweet or a cookie or a brownie or something like that, but in moderation. And we want to eat a lot of leafy green vegetables, a lot of vegetables. That should be the majority of our diet. Some fruits, some lean meats, and whole grains are also great, but just really eating foods that help us to have a healthy gut. Moving our bodies, exercising regularly, so important. I can't say enough about that. Getting enough rest and managing the stress. Usually when we have high stress levels, we get less rest. And then we just, our brains are foggy. We can't function. We can't focus when we don't get enough stress. When we don't get enough rest, and also when we don't manage our stress. So really important. Natural self-care, that's kind of what you're doing right now by being at this class, but learning about how to take care of your body and how to be in tune with using natural products, and then informed self-care, learning all about that. And then when we need to, we get medical help. I broke my leg last year. I was super grateful I had a doctor to help me with that. But most of the time, really, I've only been to the doctor twice in the last 10 years. And one of the time was when I broke my leg. So I used to go to the doctor all the time, and I never go. I never need to go anymore because, but when I do, we need to be proactive about that. So really, really important. These are the food oils that are registered to use internally in India, okay? And you're going to know this by the green dot that's below them. All of these. Now, some of these you're going to use in your foods. Some of these I've never used in food. It doesn't mean that you can't, but you can take all of these internally and you can use them in water, in cooking, in all different ways. And we're going to talk a lot more about foods and how to use them. But when you look at this list, this is a lot of oils that you can use in food and in cooking and to take internally in India. So there's a lot to work with here. You know, when we first start in a new market, usually there's only like maybe 5, and then they add more and more and more, but India has a lot. So you can be really, really grateful. And we'll talk more about how to use these here in a minute. So why do we want to cook with essential oils? Okay, number one, they're the health benefits, okay? They're going to add health benefits that you can't get from herbs or just from normal cooking. But the other thing is they add very potent and strong flavors. I'll just give you an example. So one of our favorite soups that I make here, it's called minestrone soup, and it calls for basil. And so for years and years, I would put the spice in this, a couple teaspoons of the basil spice. Well, the first time I was making a pot of this soup, and I thought, oh, I'm going to use my essential oil. It calls for a teaspoon and a half of basil spice. So I'm gonna put in, 3 or 4 drops. Oh my goodness, it was so strong. It ruined the soup. Like we couldn't even eat it. I had to make another whole batch to mix with it just so that it would be edible, right? So they add so much flavor, but we're going to talk about, how to use them correctly. And then how convenient to just have all of these at your fingertips. You don't have to run to the store all the time and buy another bottle of spice, because those spices, when you use a teaspoon at a time, they can run out fairly quickly. So they're just very, very convenient. The other thing we just want you to know is that cooking with essential oils is so safe. They are safe to have as part of our diet. They're high quality, they're well tested, they're approved by the health department in the government. But again, I just want to remind you, you're going to only use certified pure tested grade. Don't go out, take these recipes and use other essential oils that you might have in your house that you've purchased before, because they're just not safe. As you can see here, all of these essential oils in India that are used for internal use have a supplement label on the side of the bottle. If it has a supplement label, you know that it's meant to be used internally, and it tells you, that 1 serving size is 1 drop. When you think of having a bottle of oil with 250 drops, or a 5 milliliter bottle of oil with 85 drops, as it says right here, servings per container, about 85, that's going to last you a long time. Okay, so it's completely safe. It wouldn't be on the label if it wasn't safe to use. Okay, another thing, I mentioned this before when drinking water, drinking oils in your water, but even when you cook, you should be using pans and spoons and cooking utensils that are either glass, ceramic, or stainless steel. We use a lot of plastic in our society. We have a lot of plastic spoons and spatulas and water bottles and, plastic things that we use all the time. I mean, I have them in my home, plastic cups, plastic glasses, all my little kitty cups that I have for my grandkids are plastic, and so I don't put the oils in for them to drink. But if you're going to cook, get some glass measuring or metal, stainless steel, or ceramic bowls, pans, measuring spoons, measuring cups. Make sure that you're safe, because what will happen is if you use the essential oils in your plastic cookware or your plastic bowls, the plastic actually corrodes the plastic. The essential oils actually corrode the plastic. And then as you stir and you cook and things, you're actually putting those plastics into what you're eating, and it can be very contaminating. So if you're going to cook with oils, get the right kind of utensils and tools to work with. By the way, I do just want to say, if you have any questions as we go through this class, type your questions in the chat and Becky will respond while I'm talking and I'll respond while she's talking. And there are others as well that can respond, but just want to make sure that you know you can ask questions. So this is just really important. I already mentioned this a little bit, but and Becky, maybe you can talk a little bit more about this, but there's a toothpick method that's really safe because the oils are so strong. If you just start pouring drops of oils in your food, you'll ruin your food. So just to be safe, just dip your toothpick in the oil and then you can stir it in whatever you're cooking, mixing it in with a salad, and then you'll taste it because it's very potent. If you want a little bit more, you can dip the toothpick in again and add a little bit more. That's so much better than dipping drops because, you know, when we pour a drop, we often pour 2 drops instead of 1. So just to be on the safe side. Now, I make a fruit dip with wild orange that I love. And, you know, I put the drops in that. And if I get an extra one, it's just great. It's fine, you know. But when you're cooking with strong oils like basil, cassia, cinnamon, clove, cumin, oregano, thyme, those are hot. They're very, very strong and potent. You're going to want to use this toothpick method. So, you know, that's always start with less. You can always add more. If you add too much, you can't take it out. So it's always better to start with less. And then this is the last one that I'll take. Again, the way to measure, you can do the toothpick method that I just mentioned, allows you to add the smallest amount of essential oil. Or, you know, if you know that it's something that you're cooking a lot of and a big amount, then you could just start with 1 drop. Again, and then if you want 1 more, add 1 more, but you usually won't need more than that. And then if you're doing something really big, like I like to, okay, I'm big, we make a lot of soup, especially in the winter time. And then I freeze it in small amounts so I can just pull it out and I don't have to cook dinner every night, right? Not just soups, but casseroles and sauces and all kinds of different things. And you can use several drops in those if you're making a big quantity that you're going to store or freeze, you know, or save. You can do that. But even then, I would always usually start with less and then add more and more and, you know, be careful. So anyway, I hope that will help you. Becky, I think you're taking on from here on, I believe. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Suzanne. Wonderful. You guys, cooking with essential oils. You know, I like to bake with them more than cooking, actually. And so when we go through and think about all the different ways, like Suzanne was saying, that we can use the essential oils in the kitchen, just get creative. There's no exact science. Like when you go through and look at recipes and things like that, they're all over the place. And you know, we have a DIY blog I'll go through, and we have some ebooks I'm going to share with you. So some of these you're going to want to do some screenshots because I've created them from things that aren't available anymore. And so I'll tell you that when to take a screenshot. So cooking with essential oils, like Suzanne says, she likes to make soups. And I know in India, you guys love sauces. It seems like every dish has a sauce with it. And this is really fun. I know when I cook with oils, I kind of like the texture of seasoning, like little spices thrown in there because they add a little texture and color to the dish, but essential oils throw a power pack on it. They're incredible. The flavoring, like if you used a basil seasoning, and then, you know, like the spice part, and then if you add the basil oil, it puts a whole nother level of benefits to your body as well as flavoring. And it's kind of like the secret sauce. Like people come over to your house and you make an amazing dish and people are like, what did you do? You know? And so kind of have fun with it. My suggestion, like Suzanne, is just start out with the toothpick. This person in this picture is taking a whole drop, and it's a citrus oil. Citrus oils, you can do a little more. They flash off a little bit more. So when you have the heat, just remember you want to do it towards the end of your cooking process because they are aromatically or volatile in the air, right? So they're going to flash off quicker. So if you put it in the beginning, and then you'll find that it won't have as much flavor. So sometimes that's also a technique to add it in the beginning. Then that way it will flash off and you might get just a little bit different flavor. Now I have a whole bunch of slides, and due to time, I just turned a bunch of them off. And this is a summary of what some of those are. How do you use the different kinds of flavors inside the cooking? Like, right, what do you use them? Like, what are citrus oils more often used for? And I got my stuff in front of it here, so let me turn those things off so I can read. So basically, citrus oils are incredible to use for like baking, salsas. If you like to have a salsa for chips and things like that, tangerine salsas and stuff, just add that wonderful extra zest to it. If you like to make your own ice cream or yogurts and stuff, it's just amazing with that. So citrus oils are really good for beverages and things. I know that there's a leader we have here in town that she likes to mix up different alcohol recipes. I don't drink alcohol much. So you can get really creative with that. Also with spices, like the cinnamon and those kinds of things, the vegetables, marinades, makes amazing marinades. They're sweet and savory. So like going through and playing with the different salts with it too is kind of fun. So I'm going to share with you too how I like to actually add my oils to a dish. Here in a minute. Herbs like Italian dishes. We have a blend here in the United States. It's actually called the Italian blend, which has a nice mixture of different oils in it already. So maybe, for example, you like to go through and make Italian dishes, and you tend to use like the rosemary and some of the other spices or oils that we have, pre-mix them in a blend, and that way you have it ready to go. Now, florals, you guys are thinking, Becky, I would never put flowers in my cooking. I'm going to tell you that lavender essential oil is incredible to use for like lavender lemonade. I love it. It is my go-to when I have a party at my house. I make a big bowl of lavender lemonade, and people absolutely love it. It tastes weird at first, but then you're kind of addicted to it. I have a girlfriend that actually melts chocolate. She likes to use the white chocolate, and she will melt it, and then she will put in the chocolate lavender and then dip raspberries or strawberries or blueberries. You guys, this is just like something that's just beyond the best thing ever you've ever had. Mint oils are really good again for beverages like drinks, salad dressings, and some things like certain meats. Like a lot of people like uh, lamb meat, that kind of stuff for like the Greek recipes and stuff. Mint is actually very common to use like in a jelly. You can make a mint jelly or a marinade with that as well. Okay, so I'm going to go through and talk about different ways to infuse the oils into these different recipes that we talked about. And you guys, screenshot this, or if you can take another phone and use the QR code to download this ebook. This is an ebook that doTERRA has. And a lot of these recipes I have are in this ebook. There's tons of recipes in here, and it really gives you the safety tips and all the things that Suzanne had gone through as well. And my suggestion is, as a wellness advocate, that this is like a secret book to have too. So sometimes when I do a wellness consult and I have someone who loves to specialize in cooking, that this would be a gift that I would give them, just an added value so people can see how to use the oils. And then again, we were talking about this blog. doTERRA has a blog, and I've noticed that the blog is different in different markets. Like if you go to the doTERRA blog in Australia, they will have different recipes there. I'm sure probably the doTERRA blog in India is different than the one in the United States. So kind of play around, look at the different market blogs. It could be because of some different oils are available in different areas and so forth, but you can get really creative. I love to make my own granola. I make my own granola bars because it's one thing that I can take with me when I'm out and about instead of eating things that I can't eat very well. I have major food allergies. And thank God for these beautiful essential oils because I have been able to get on top of that with my stomach. But I love to be able to be really careful and sensitive about what we're putting on our plates because we are in we've chose the healthy lifestyle like Suzanne went through and talked about that wellness lifestyle pyramid that doTERRA shows on all of our classes. And it's really important to be able to, our gut is the very first thing on that chart. And so when we're looking and experimenting with different food recipes, you guys, this is the number one thing we should be doing. So one of the ways to work with cooking with the oils is making your own marinades. So if you tend to eat meats, fish is really popular with marinades. Even making, soaking different vegetables and things inside a marinade. If you're a vegetarian, that's a beautiful way to work with that using vinegars. Now, here's the list of essential oils. I don't believe all of these are available in India, but most of them are. I think we're still looking for thyme and cilantro and cardamom and black pepper. But I put them on here because it's just things that you know that doTERRA, a lot of recipes do have in them. And we'll go from there. Here's some recipes, you guys. I pulled the ones out that I feel are in India. Now, lime oil may not be, but substitute that with the tangerine or the wild orange. Oh my gosh. And so using like a balsamic vinegar and going through and olive oil. So if you mix it like she's doing here in this little dish down here, and then you can sprinkle that over the salad, okay? Or I even like to use this as a dip with like breads. You can put bread dip in that. You guys, it's so yummy. It's so good. And I'm going to show you another trick here in a minute here. As we go through and you can see how they're spooning this on a barbecue. And then this here is a sour marinade with wild orange. Oh my gosh, this is so yummy. I don't tend to use soy sauce. I don't know in India, I was going to look this up and I forgot, but I tend to use coconut aminos. And coconut aminos doesn't have any chemicals in it, and it tastes just like soy sauce. It has that savory taste to it. I love it. It sweetens things up. It's the best stuff ever. Okay.
And we do have lime in India.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Suzanne. Yeah. Lime is just such a wonderful oil to drink. I have it right here. I love putting it in my water. um, Soups and salsas, dips and sauces. This almost needs to be 4 separate slides with different recipes. But here again is an Italian oregano bread dip. And so it's very popular to put like olive oil. I tend to love avocado oil better. I just like the flavor better. And then putting some balsamic vinegar. Now you can actually infuse like different balsamic vinegars, putting the oils in that. And I like to have 3 different bowls like this and put maybe wild orange in one of them. And another one, put maybe lemon. And then another one, use maybe oregano oil. Or another one, do ginger oil. And so you can have like a different flavorings at a party or, as you're entertaining people that they can experiment and maybe have them vote on which one they like best. It's kind of fun to get people involved in experimenting with you. And this is the example here that I was talking about. This you're going to want to screenshot because this here is something that someone in doTERRA, as a wellness advocate, created this website, eatplant.org, and it's no longer there. It's been taken. I don't know if they just weren't supporting it anymore or what, but I love this is a whole party right here on a page. If you like to entertain people, you can make a beautiful salad. And so with the dips that we were talking about, using olive oil, maybe putting 3 drops of lemon in that one, oregano in this one, and wild orange in this one. And it's really fun. You could take bread pieces or chips or whatnot in there. And it's just really yummy. And then this is an Asian fusion salt. And what this is if you take salt, like earth salt or Himalayan salt, and you put it in a dish, they're saying just 1 tablespoon, but I like to do more than that, like do 3 or 4 tablespoons, and then you have it ready to go for down the road, right? You can use ginger, 2 drops, lemongrass, and basil. And then you cut up some tomatoes and lay them around on a plate and then sprinkle the salt on there and let it sit for about 5-10 minutes. You guys, it is so good. I am not a tomato person. I don't care for tomatoes so much for some reason. I don't know why. But when I did this, I fell in love with tomatoes. All it's just incredible. And then they sprinkled some little pieces of like those green onion chives and stuff on there just to pretty it up. But when you do this, I love to put these tomatoes then in a salad bowl. So going through and chopping up salads and putting that, laying them on there, it just really takes that salad to a whole nother level. So again, we're infusing salt, right? We're not putting the oils directly on the salad. We're infusing the salt and using it that way. Then here's a vinaigrette that you can make for a salad dressing. This has lemon, oregano, 2 ounces of olive oil, and then apple cider vinegar. Oh my gosh. And then Dijon mustard. You know what I do is I tend to put honey. So I will add a tablespoon of honey, sometimes even 2 tablespoons of honey, because I love that sweetness of the Dijon mustard and honey together. And then when you mix this together and you add these two oils, you guys, this is the best vinaigrette you've ever had in your life. You just sprinkle it on the salad, stir it up, and you're going to need to make twice as much salad because everybody will eat it. Again, here's another seasoning salt to have. And so when you go to the store and you buy seasoning salts, why? You don't know what kind of preservatives they put in it. You don't know any of those things that are in a lot of these store-bought ingredients. And that's again why we're talking about this is because all these toxicities that they have to put in the foods that you buy at the store, like on Amazon or whatever, when you buy that, they have to have a longer shelf life. So they add all these preservatives, they add coloring to it, they add flavoring to it. It's just all these toxicities are little by little by little is why our bodies are becoming autoimmune diseases and all these things start to happen. So we really want to try to replace all these things with things that you can make at home and think about how much money you're saving when you can do this at home. You don't have to buy that seasoning salt. You can quickly make up a batch of something that you're going to be using. So do we have any questions or anything, Suzanne? Are we doing okay?
You're doing great.
Okay, here's an idea for a beverage. Now, I have a pear tree growing outside my house here. These pears are so beautiful, and I absolutely love pears. And so to make a wonderful smoothie, how fun is that? So you can put ginger essential oil, honey, vanilla extract. Now, we have vanilla flavoring here in the United States, of vanilla essential oil. And so I would replace that with that. And wow, this is just the best, yummiest thing you've ever had in your life, too. So experiment, maybe use peaches. Oh, papayas. You guys have the papaya is a beautiful fruit that you have in India. We don't have that here as common in the United States. So experiment maybe what would be a good flavoring with papaya. I'm kind of guessing maybe tangerine or wild orange would just really take it over the top as well. Baked goods. Now, baking is my favorite. You guys, I've experimented with our vanilla flavoring. I can't wait till they get that in India. It needs to be the next one on the list because it's just such an amazing oil. But and if you make pies, take that pie crust and add some essential oils to the pie crust. Oh my gosh. Um, so maybe if you added what would be a good flavoring for that? Like ginger or something. If you're making like a pecan pie, you'd want to add cinnamon to the pie crust. You guys, that pie was the best pie I've ever made in my life. And it was just all due to that pie crust. Sometimes pie crust can have like that greasy, Crisco flavoring with flour, and it just kind of tastes like Crisco and flour. It doesn't have anything. But when you add an oil to it, it's just a really fun way. Now, this is a cake. And so adding the cinnamon bark essential oil to this cake, like a coffee cake, it's so good. Now they're also adding orange juice. So if you tend to like cinnamon orange together, which is the two ingredients that's in On Guard, go ahead and do that. I would almost even experiment by adding a few drops of On Guard. I love On Guard in my coffee and in my tea. And it would just be maybe another way to build up your immune system, right? Okay, salads again, we're talking about another vinaigrette here for a salad. And so maybe take a screenshot of this one. I don't know, do you guys have raspberries in India? Like here in where I live, we are in the capital of the world for raspberry growing. So raspberries are just like lovely here. They're the best raspberries you've had in your life. They're really good. So I love to make raspberries. Here's a picture of strawberries. So making a strawberry almond salad with some spinach. Yummy. Okay, so seasonings. Again, this is another way to make seasonings. Earlier, I talked about adding oils to salt. Well, what if you were to make a garlic salt, right? And then adding basil, thyme, marjoram, and oregano or rosemary, a combination of each one or separately. And you can have that ready to go. So when you're cooking something, you can just sprinkle that salt into it, and that is going to add that flavoring. Here's another way to do it with sugar. So like if you're baking, you can add the flavoring to sugar. Another fun way to, like if you like to flavor your tea and coffee with sugar or your oatmeal, oh my gosh, wonderful. Okay, now in India, we have a process of registering through the government. So if you're a wellness advocate and you're really working towards supporting the cooking of the taking these oils internally, we do recommend that you register with the India government to have a license for that. Now, this is just the India government rules. And so in each state, it's going to be a different price and cost. But if you're going out there and promoting and selling essential oils for cooking and baking and things like that, then very simple thing to do. It renews every year. And I know that doTERRA has been open almost a year in India now. It's so exciting. So a lot of your licenses will be coming up for renewal if you've been with us for a while. So take that in mind. And it's just very minimal cost for each state. Again, we spent this time talking about the nutrition and digestion of our wellness lifestyle pyramid. And I think it's really important to note here again, like I said earlier, that this is the first foundation of our whole wellness lifestyle. And always focusing on how you can introduce these oils in everywhere of your life. And it should always start with our gut. And so take mind. And if you're having any of these health concerns, I always like to go back and tell everybody, let's work on the gut, let's work on the gut. And I'm sure many of you have been on these classes before. You've heard me always say that. So I'm going to drill it in you. So what are your top health priorities? So after talking today, we can go through and think about your health priorities. And we've talked about emotions in the past. We've talked about exercise. We've talked about lots of different ways that we can use these oils in our life. And I want you to sit here and think about how long you've been dealing with these health issues. Like, what is it and why is it a priority? What is it that it's going to, if you didn't have that in your life, what would it be like? Because I would like to venture to guess how much has that cost you over time, like loss of work, your vitality of life, not able to go out and play with the grandchildren or things like that, right? And all the money and costs that you're dealing with on that. It's really important that you become present to that. So many people have to change their lifestyles because of their health. And we're committed that you live a vitality in a life of full of vitality. And that's what we're here for today. So, how would you like to get started? You can buy these oils retail with a friend who may have invited you to be here with us today, or you can become a wholesale member. Now, friends, do not let friends buy retail. You guys, in India, this membership is free. And so be able to sign up, get a membership. There's no requirements whatsoever. And here you get 25% below retail. So get signed up. And you also can choose to be part of a program called the Loyalty Reward Program. And a lot of recommendations that we have is to buy oils every month to pick up on your collection. Now, there's lots of oils that are available in India. So if you purchase a couple every month, you will be adding to your collection. And it's a nice way to look at different ways to explore and get these oils into your body and to help you with your whole goals, your lifestyle goals. Number three, you can earn as an income by being a doTERRA wellness advocate. And this is exciting. This is why we're here as we opened up the market in India, helping people to be able to have a residual income, which is allowing people to maybe they have just a little bit of extra money every month if they just want to play and sharing with people from time to time. Or some people are taking this on full time and going all out to be able to get these oils to every home all over India. And what is really exciting about India is that India is now the largest country in the world as of 2023. And there's so much opportunity here. So we invite you to join us. And to get started, you want to talk to the person who invited you. You're going to want to give them your name, your shipping address, phone, your email. The date of birth is because we want to keep track of who you are from other people who may have similar names as you, and to be sure that you are 18 years and older. And you're going to want to provide your PAN card and ADA card if you're going to be a wellness advocate, because that's part of the government requirements. And then you're going to want to tell them what you want to purchase. So let's go through what our purchasing options are here. I'm going to move the slide around here at the last minute. So I want to go over what the kits are. These kits are incredible. This is the biggest kit that we have. And so the Natural Solutions kit is, oh my gosh, you're going to save so much money by purchasing this kit. This is 36,400 Indian rupees you're saving, you guys. The kit, including tax, is 46,610 Indian rupees. That's 400 PV. And you get all these beautiful oils. You get this beautiful wooden box. And of course, the petal diffuser, which we love. And you get the coconut oil, the deep blue oil, and the On Guard. And then if we go through and look at the other kits that we have, now these two kits, the Home Essentials kit and the Healthy Experience kit, are exactly the same kits, except the Home Essentials kit over here is 15 ml bottles. In a 15 ml bottle, you get 250 drops, okay? And in the Healthy Experience kit, these bottles are only 5 ml. You get 85 drops. Both wonderful ways to get started, but I always recommend people to start with this one, with the Home Essentials kit, because you actually get 3 times more of the oils for only about twice the price, right? So it's so worth it. Now, each one comes with a diffuser. Now, you can purchase any diffuser you want. If you want to get the Pebble diffuser with the Home Essentials kit, you can. I actually had the price on here. I don't know what happened to it. Must have disappeared. But anyway, so you can go ahead and purchase those and get started that way. Or you can start with a simple starter kit, which is the lemon, lavender, and peppermint. All of those oils you can cook with. The Breathe oil and the On Guard oil are powerhouse oils for during the pandemic and helping with the immune system. And so this is a nice way to get started. And then we also, and those oils are also 15 ml bottles. Or you can customize your own first order. Now, doing that, of course, you have free enrollment, and you can purchase anything you want. But we always like to suggest people to start with a kit because they bundle these together, and there's an additional discount with these oils than if you were to buy them individually. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the loyalty reward program. We mentioned it during the enrollment, the different types of enrollment ways you can join doTERRA. You can become a wellness advocate or a wholesome member. And both of them, you have the opportunity to join the loyalty reward program. This is not required. If you are doing the business, it is required, okay? So if you are going to be a wellness advocate, if you're looking to earn commissions, you're going to want to order at least 100 PV. Now, 100 PV stands for personal volume, okay? And so when we're looking at maintaining the loyalty reward program, you're going to want to at least order one thing. to earn a reward point increase. So maybe you can sustain the months by just ordering 50 PV. If you order 51 PV or whatnot, you're going to increase your points. And to participate in the product of the month, you want to order by the 15th and order 125 PV. What that means is you get a free oil. doTERRA every month will offer free oil. And then every once in a while, maybe every 3 or 4 months, they will have a product promotion month, which sometimes it looks at 200 PV, and you'll get a collection of different oils for free. Now, doTERRA likes to reward you for being loyal. So every month, the way this program works is you're going to want to be ordering every month. And each month you place an order. So month 1 through 3, you're going to get 10% back in product credit points that you can use for free product. So each month you're placing an order, it will increase in the groups of 3 months. So by the time you get to 13 months of continually ordering, you will earn 30% back in product credit points. Now, you guys, if you miss a month, this goes back down to 10% and you lose those points that are in the little bank account that you were saving. So it's always a good idea to try to be ordering at least one little thing. If you can't order something in a month, we like to have you budget it out so that way you can do even just small orders every month is better than a big month of 200 and no month, a big month of 200 and no month, right? So this is helping you get these oils on a monthly basis. Okay, so we went through the kits. Now we're going to take just a few minutes here. We're almost done. And I'm talking about the business opportunity. And a lot of people like to go through and just say, hey, what is this all about? I'm interested in what this is. doTERRA is the #1 essential oil company in the world. Like Suzanne said, we are the #1 essential oil company in the world because of the quality, the purity, and the potency. And doing doTERRA as a business, we have a 65% record breaking retention. That is something that is beyond no other network marketing company. And it's proven. doTERRA has these 7 executives that started the business that have such diverse experience in running a network marketing company. And so they all work together beautifully. They're just amazing people. I've met every single one of them. And it's just incredible. And then we have the caring aspect about doTERRA. We didn't go into this today, but the Healing's Hand program, the co-impact sourcing program are all initiatives that doTERRA works on with the farmers and everything to help them benefit in their life too. There are 5 ways that doTERRA pays. We have the compensation plan with retail, you earn 25% profit. You got the sharing bonus where when you invite someone to join doTERRA, you will get 25% profit on the first 60 days of that sharing, whatever they order. And then Power of 3 is another way to structure your business. And then Unilevel is another way where after the 60 days of the sharing bonus, we go through and pay on up to 7 levels of the business. And then we got the leadership bonus, which is when you start to get up into the ranks. Higher up you get into the ranks, the more of the leadership bonuses you will earn. So Elite is as the first, we call this the core rank of doTERRA. And there are some younger ranks in front of this, but Elite is when you have a whole volume of your team in a month's time earning 3,000 cells and volume of PV points. This is an average amount. Usually if you hit this rank first with a very young startup team, you may earn anywhere between 15,000 to 25. Even some people earn a lot more in this rank. And then as you start to go through and structure your team, you're going to have 2 leaders of executive, which is 2,000 volume, and you'll become premier, and then you earn a little more. And so each month it starts over and you actually get more solid team, you get more people enrolled on there, and you will actually earn more money as that grows. Silver is a gold mine. It's wonderful. You've got 3 elites. This is where you start to look at your building leaders and helping them structure their team to become premiers. When you have all 3 of those leaders as a premier, you become and earn the rank of gold. And the rank of gold is really valued in doTERRA right now. This is where you really want to run to because doTERRA has a program called the Foundership Program. There are 40 spots that doTERRA has for foundership, and some of them are already filled up already, you guys. So you want to run really fast and you're going to want to sustain this gold rank to be able to solidify foundership position, which is becoming basically a partner with doTERRA in India, where you'll be a leader to go help them teach classes and to support and help promote doTERRA. So that's all I have for today. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording